Good morning, people. Hope everyone is all right. I mean, after that game last night, definitely got a few questions. I think we got a couple of answers as well. Hope everyone had a better night than I did. How annoying a bloody dog can be when it's howling all night just because it wants attention. Ended up couldn't get no bloody sleep. Ended up taking him for a walk at about 6 o'clock this morning for an hour and just had total lack of sleep. I say, I thought, you know what? Laid there after night listening to dog howling, reading, watching a few Spurs things and that. Do you know what? Bollocks. I'll do the show earlier. Well, 5-3, Paris Saint-Germain. I don't know what people were expecting, but I must admit, I wasn't quite expecting that. Maybe a 5-0. I thought we was going to get absolutely slaughtered out there. But in that aspect, I honestly don't. Hang on a minute here. Something's gone wrong here. I've set up two bloody channels at the same flipping time. I pressed the wrong flipping button. It's done two channels. I've got my bloody line one here, like I'm on a bloody phone, and I've got my other one. Pressed the wrong bloody button on there. Do forgive me. But either way, you can jump to either one of them. So there's two going at the same fucking time. Look and learn. But yeah, game with PSG. I'm not really going to complain much about it. I mean, I would definitely say the game was more positive than negative. And yes, there's points you can look on that. And in some aspects, you can say it's a very opinionated game. And like everything in football, it's very, very opinions with a lot of facts. But like what I've put on here, just a picture again. I just feel at the moment at this club, I mean, as supporters go, we are pretty chaotic. There's no two ways about it. I just feel at the moment, it's almost like you're not allowed an opinion from either side, or you're not meant to. One way or another, it's either got to be left or it's got to be right. There don't seem to be an in-between here. There don't seem to be an in the middle at the moment. It's sort of going to that thing that I've already seen where if you say this, you're frank out. If you say that, you're frank in. There just don't seem to be a bit of an in-between here at the moment. No matter one way or another, no matter what you say, whether you're talking about the positives of the club, not that there's been too many lately, you're now going OTT, gonna die on the hill with your sword, whatever. Or if you talk about some of the negative points, you're frank out, you never was there for him, whatever. I just feel at the moment being very limited again with being allowed to speak your own opinion. I mean, one way or another, you're never going to keep everybody happy. That's never going to happen. And do you know what? I wouldn't want to keep everybody happy. That would just be fucking boring. Why would you want to keep everybody happy? It's always good to have that person out there that is not happy. It's always amusing. But so I saw a lot of last night on quite a few Spurs chats, like WhatsApps and whatever, and just reading through Facebook and everything else. Like I say, absolutely fuck all sleep. Wife slept last night. She's still sleeping now. But just reading through it, being quiet, reading through it, even though bloody dog's howling. Very, very 50-50 on that game yesterday, I've noticed a lot of supporters are. And I think it's for understandable reasons. I think you could say we had a respectable first half. I think we had a good first half. I think there are definitely a couple of players in there that definitely showed they got some capability there. And I think in the second half, especially for about 25 minutes of it, it just went Spursy. It just fell to shit. I mean, they scored some crackers. There's no two ways about it. I mean, at least 3 of those goals they scored was quality goals. And the fella who scored them, I ain't even going to try and pronounce his name. Quality goals. But then you look on it from another side, he shouldn't have even had those chances. We should have been closing him down. And we didn't. I suppose they're the two sides you can look at with it. I mean, we got some goals last night. I don't think nobody expected that, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, I didn't. I thought we was going to get absolutely slaughtered at a good 5-0. So I suppose you can look on both sides of it. I mean, there's definitely some players on there that had a good game. I think there's players that had a good first half, and I think there's a couple that just really had a fucking terrible game. And questions will be asked again. Tactics. Did Frank get it right? I don't see why not. Okay, we conceded 5, but we still put 3 against PSG. We just played technically, officially, at the moment in time still, the best team on the planet. Is that going to change by the end of the Champions League? Probably. But at this moment in time, we actually gave them a bit of a game. Now, the thing I liked about the game is, even though we conceded 5, and like I said, 3 of them were goals that they shouldn't have even had the chance to have the fucking shot, we actually got stuck into a game. That's what I mean by getting stuck into a game. When I say it, I don't mean getting stuck into a game and break the fella's bloody legs. Get stuck into a game. Want to play the game. Whether you're playing for yourself, whether you're playing for the team, whether you're playing for your heart, I don't really care what you're playing for. But get stuck into the game. Play the fucking game. Want to play it. Show that you got a little bit of heart and passion. And I do think last night we showed some of that. I mean, if you compare it to that game we had against Arsenal, which was one of the most woeful, spineless efforts I have seen in a team in Spurs for a long time against Arsenal, that was a different story. We actually looked like we wanted to play the game. And that's what I'm asking for. Because games like at PSG, games like Arsenal, games like Chelsea, we're honestly not expecting to walk away with a result, but we at least want to see some effort. And that Arsenal game for me, it looked like they bottled it from the minute they walked on that pitch. They didn't want to get into the game. This one, we actually did. Okay, Spursy moments done us at the end of the day. But we actually got stuck into a game. Players looked like they wanted to bloody play. So overall, I think I'm going to be happy with that. Happy enough. I think we can walk away from that, at least saying we tried. Now, I know when it comes down to a lot of things, walking off and just saying, well, at least they tried, isn't necessarily good enough. But for a game like that with PSG in the Champions League, for me, that was good enough. We tried. We actually tried. We actually wanted to play football. I mean, I was surprised with a couple of the players that you put out. I mean, Gray and Bergvall starting was a big question for me. Definitely proved me wrong on the first half there anyway. I thought the pair of them, good first half, very good first half. Second half, I think they pretty much got lost in the game. But I'll go through some of the players in a minute. I just feel, on my opinion purely, to be able to just walk away with a game like that and just say, at least we fucking tried for once. That's all I've been asking for, basically. So, going to say hello to a couple of people quick, and then just going to go through the players, keep it as short and sweet as possible, and try not to do a bloody long show. But every time I seem to fucking say that, it goes on for 3 hours. I have no intentions on that one today. So, Wayne, morning, mate. Hope you're good. Morning, Dan, and all Spurs fans. Personally, didn't expect to score 3 against PSG. Neither did I, mate. And although conceding 9 goals in our last 2 games is a big concern, still Thomas Franklin. Yes, look, when it comes to that one, each their own at the end of the day. Some people wanted him, some people didn't, but he ain't going to change the world in 4 months. and he's going to need a bit of time and windows. Yes, there's been some things where I've looked at him and I've questioned him, and this was the one where I would have severely questioned him if we didn't at least get motivated for a bloody game. Because again, I bring back that Chelsea game and Arsenal game, two of our biggest games of the season, no matter what it's for, two of our archest rivals, two clubs that pretty much most people despise, and he couldn't get the players motivated for that. Now, no, I know it's not solely down to him, it's the players as well, but it is the manager's job, as far as I'm concerned, to get those players motivated for a game. He can only do so much, but still. And this was the game for me, where if he wouldn't have been able to at least get the players motivated for the game, then I'm starting to ask serious questions. Yes, like I said, needs time, whatever. But if you can't motivate your players for those sort of games, yeah, I will be asking questions. But last night, I don't know what everyone else's opinion on it. I've seen a lot of them. I think they at least got motivated for the game, like I've said. So, but yeah, conceding 9 goals in the last 2 games in what's meant to be our strongest point, which is defence, is a bit. But then you got to look at the two teams we just played. We just played 2 teams with 2 of the best teams on the planet at the moment, really, if we're going to be realistically there. So, but yeah, I agree with you. And Wayne also saying, let's be positive for Fulham this weekend. Yid Army, come on, you Spurs. I think that is not going to be an easy game. No game is ever easy, but I think we could, like I said, we can at least walk out with this saying we bloody tried and go into the next game with a bit of a positive effect, I think, because we got some goals and some players actually turned up for the game. So hopefully they're going to get motivated enough for the next game with Fulham. But then again, there's no easy bloody games in this league. I think we all know that by now. This is why the Premier League is considered the best league on the planet. Why? Because anybody can beat anybody at any time. And it is not a breakdown over it, basically. I mean, there's certain games in Germany, in Spain, well, I don't know so much about Italy, but definitely Germany and Spain, where if one of the lower teams go and beat one of the higher teams, people's jaws drop and they're in shock. Whereas over here, a bottom team can beat a top team, and you're like, you might raise an eyebrow, but you're like, it's the Premier League. It happens. That is why it's considered the best league out there. No game is going to be bloody easy. Fulham is not going to be an easy game, but it's one we can go into. And Ray, morning down in chat, morning to you, mate. And yeah, with anyone who's on this other show that's coming up where it's just got half my bloody face on there, where it looks like it's doing it off a bloody phone and that. There's another one running on the side as well where you got the full picture. Like I said, I don't know what's happened there. It must just be something that I pressed on the StreamYard where they changed a couple of things. But morning anyway, right. And Williams, I'm just going to say Williams, mate. It's easier to read. Fuck knows what's happened with all the bloody names and that. Again, it just, what is up with YouTube at the moment? Why does it keep bloody doing that? Just makes life hard. And you're also saying didn't expect to score, but exactly. And we still put 3 past them. And God, bloody hell, why are names that awkward these days? Albzan, yeah, big up, Dan. Big up to you too, mate. I hope you had a better night than me. And James, love you, Dan. Love you too, fella. I hope you had a good night. And Lynn, morning, Dan. Morning to you too. And James saying, Dan, we conceded 5 goals, bro. I know. But did anyone expect different? Come on, be honest with yourselves here, yeah? We conceded 5. I know. But who actually sat there and thought we wouldn't go into that game and concede at least 3? I thought we was going to get beaten 5-0. So 5-3 is acceptable for me in that aspect. But you are right. And the goals, 3 of them were definitely down to the defence on not doing their job properly for me. And Lynn, morning. And Dan, my criticism about Spurs last night, when Spurs were in the winning, they and Frank should have shut up shop. And yet Frank and the player had allowed PSG back in. No, I can't agree with that one. Shut up shop, I'm definitely up for doing that. But there's a time to shut up shop. And we shut up shop the second we came on the pitch against Arsenal. And that is why we got absolutely slaughtered. amongst other reasons. Last night, if we'd have shut up shop when we went up front, we'd have still had to do at least another 45 minutes with them just hammering down on us. Now, when you got 10 minutes to go, maybe even 15 minutes to go, then I'm all up for parking the bus and sticking 11 players behind the ball, basically, yeah? But when you're playing a game like PSG, I'm sorry, you can't go and do that for 45 minutes. You can't go and do it. It can't. You just cannot do it because it just can't be done. Not in my opinion. But if we was ahead with 10 minutes left to go, I'd have been the first one to say, park that fucking bus, mate, and then stick another bus in front of it. But no, I've got to disagree with that one. We can't. You just can't do that for 45 minutes against a team like that, against most teams. And Paul, morning, mate. And Romero was awful last night at fault for 3 goals. Yes, he was. He's one person I'm definitely going to have something to say about. And again, to me, Romero proved last night on why he's not a world-class player. I think he's overrated. And I'm not saying he's not great on his day, but he is not a bloody consistent player. He's not world-class. And to me, just proved it again last night. I know others are going to have total different opinions on it. You're all entitled to it, but you will not get me calling this fella world-class, and I do think he's overrated. Is he doing that captain's job well? That's another point I'm going to go to. And Lynn, he set up right, but his game management was poor. Yes, I think he left the subs a bit late. I must admit, they should have been turning around on about the 60th. You could see a couple of players were losing it, basically. I mean, should have brought Simmons on earlier, possibly Kudus on earlier, even though he didn't exactly do much when he came on. But I definitely think the subs, I think he got them a bit wrong on the timing, basically. Right idea for the subs he made, but the timing, no, definitely not for me. I think he got that bit slightly wrong. And, mate, these names on here, I'm just going to call you Trophy. It's going to be the easiest thing for me here, mate. I mean, being dyslexic and trying to fucking read that don't help either. Right, Ange would have won the Super Cup and beaten PSG in the Champions League. Keep the same energy for Frank you show for Ange. Would he now? Would he? I know, I mean, people are sick of hearing Ange's name, and I totally get it, but you're going to hear it for the rest of the season. Why? Because we've got to compare to something. And as all we've got to compare to is last season with Ange. If, and I do say if, or when Thomas Frank gets through with this season and we go into the following season, then we can start comparing that season to this season, and Ange don't need to get spoke about no more. But at the moment, that is what the comparison is going to be to. I mean, if you think Ange would have done that, fair play to you. I don't think he would have. With the way he plays, I personally think PSG would have absolutely, and with the way we was always open up at the back in the defence, PSG would have had a fucking field day with that one. So I've got to disagree with you there. But entitled to your opinion, mate. I'm sure you can give me reasons why as well. I'm sure they'd be fair enough, but I ain't going to agree with that one. But I am keeping the same energy with Frank. This is what I was saying at the start about opinions. 7 games when Ange started, I called out and I said, so far so good. But we can't keep this style of play up. If he keeps playing this style of play, it is going to backfire on us, and we will end up getting found out and destroyed out there. After about 12, but I said he will adapt. He didn't, and we know the story from there. What I've said about Frank is I think I've seen good games from us. I think I've seen some of the most woeful games from us. I mean, honestly, that game against Arsenal, I think that was as bad as any game I ever see us play with Ange as manager. Personal opinion. I thought that game as Arsenal had no bollocks in it, and that was as bad as any game I've seen Ange play. My opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. And I have questioned him. I think he's doing an okay job with what he's got. And yes, there are a lot of injuries. He hasn't had the full team to pick at the moment either. I think he's doing an okay job. I think Spurs are okay this season. We have looked terrible. We have looked good. But in general, I think we are okay. And with the players we've got and the lack of caliber we've got out there, what more do people really want? I mean, I know we're ninth in the league, but we are only, 3 points away from top 4. It's going to be a strange season this season. Really is. I mean, look at Liverpool, for God's sake. I mean, their 400 million spending or whatever it was is looking a bit strange, isn't it? So, but the thing I have questioned is what I said at the start. is if he cannot get the players motivated for games like Chelsea, Arsenal, I'm going to ask questions. And this was the game for me where I needed him to get the players motivated. Otherwise, I would have been asking serious questions. For me, the players at least look bloody motivated, which is what I wanted. So I'm keeping the same energy in that aspect because I was going to start asking serious questions. But at the moment, I think you can say bought a little bit of time with that one. For me, he has anyway. I mean, for me, he gets the season, same as Ange got the season. But game by game, I will question, I will give my opinion, same as everyone else. At the moment, we can only judge it by the games. We cannot judge it by the season at the moment because we're only bloody, a quarter into the season. So we just got to take it a game at a time, question the games as they come, praise the games as they come, tell them about themselves when it comes. And that's what we're going to do. And we are also going to be comparing back to Ange a lot of the time. And a lot of people don't like it, but lump it. It's just the way it is. And Ron, morning, mate. Hope you're good. Overall, wasn't that bad of a performance, but we are conceding goals for fun now. Yep, I agree. It's basically everything I've said, mate. I mean, past two games, defence have looked pretty shocking, and that's meant to be our best bit. And in that aspect, yes, questionable. I do think the defence did not have a good game. And it wasn't just conceding the 5 goals as such. It's just, I don't think any, like, especially Van der Ven, I don't think he had his greatest game. The defence were definitely at fault for at least 3 of those bloody goals. But overall, it wasn't bad. There was positives in the game. Like I said, it wasn't all bad. I mean, I'm the first one to sit here and say, when you have played shit, you have played shit and you deserve to be told about it. When you are out there as a player, as a manager, whatever, earning 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, and as all you want is sunshine blown up your ass when you play a good game, but can't handle taking the shit when you play a shit game, bollocks to you as far as I'm concerned. I will say my opinion on what I think about a player. People at times say it's toxic, negative, and that. Well, I agree. There's also toxic, positive as well. So you got to always take 2 sides to a story. Then again, most of the bollocks we hear these days, there's usually 3 or 4 sides to a fucking story, but that's a different story. And anyway, Sam, morning, mate. How you doing? Postecoglou is where he should be, out at the top level of football. This is about Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, not Postecoglou and his record-breaking losses. I agree. I didn't like the manager. I'm glad he's gone. We're with Frank now. Let's just get on with it. And the girl Gaffer, I'll tell you, sometimes just trying to read these things is just not easy. Gaffer, I'll just call you that one. Sweet and simple, yeah? Well, I've never seen this channel before, but I'm already loving the vibe. Thanks. Appreciated. It's a shame you're a Spurs fan, though, up the arse. Oh, well, you can go full for multiply as far as I'm concerned, love. And, yeah, but either way, anyone's welcome on here. And I can't, one thing I will say at the moment, Arsenal are looking fucking scary. Bayern Munich were my favourites to win the Champions League this year. They got a good team. Defence a little bit open, but a fucking good team. And, yes, I'm not liking it, I must admit. Do you know what? Fuck off and win the league. I'll be happy with that. As long as you don't touch that Champions League, I'll be fine. I'll deal with it. But anyway, I'll behave, I promise. PSG, not an easy fixture. No, not an easy fixture for anybody. But like you said, anyone's more than welcome on here with their opinion. And I do have a couple of Arsenal regulars that come on here. You probably haven't seen the channel before because I am very erratic with what I do, very irregular, I'd say, in that. And over the past good month and a half, 2 months, it's just a lot has been down to medical reasons why I just can't keep things up consistently. But hopefully now, popping on a couple of other shows, getting things together, I will be able to get my shit together and start doing more stuff on it. And anyway, thank you. It's appreciated. And George also saying, big up, Dan, big up to you too. Hit the like button, please, guys. Coys, thanks, mate. Appreciated. And Scott, big up, Coys. Big up to you too, mate. Sem also saying, there was a better level of performance last night and some frustrating... Bite my fucking tongue off in the process. And some frustrating individual errors. Yes, I'll agree with that one. And need to see some consistency and quickly. Yes, we do. I think that has always been, especially over the past 3 years, 4 years, I think you can even go into it. there is no consistency at this bloody club, and there hasn't been for about 3 to 4 years. That is probably one of the most frustrating things out here. We've been able over the past 3-4 years to go out there and have 2-3 really good games, and then all of a sudden just fall to shit over the next 3 or 4 games. All of a sudden have a cracking game, and then it is so up and down at this place. Whether it's with Frank, whether it's with Ange, whether it's Conte, whether it's Mourinho, it's like a roller coaster. And sometimes you just want to press the button and you just want it to stop or get off the bloody bus. But like we got told all here, who we are, mate. I think it's just Spurs, isn't it? It comes part of the package. I mean, if you can't handle it, go support another club in that aspect, because I don't think things will ever particularly change. Not to the extent that some of us want it to. Not unless Enoch fuck off, but that's just, I ain't going to go into that bullshit. That's a different story. I mean, it's only, 26 minutes past 9. I can't bother to talk about that crap. And Gaff also saying, to be fair, you guys did show more fight against PSG than you did against us over the weekend. Well, it's not bloody hard, is it? As all we'd have had to do was go out there and say hello and shake your hand, and we'd have been showing more fight. When we went out against you lot, we might as well bent over and pulled the bloody trousers down. That's how bad it was. But you're right. We went out there and we showed a bit of fight. It's what I wanted. And George, great reaction to the previous result. My issue is the defensive errors. Yes, I am going to go into them. I'm going to say hello to a couple more people and then get to the points. But it was a good reaction. I mean, I was expecting us to get absolutely slaughtered out there. 5-0. That's what I was expecting. I got the 5 goals right, but I didn't expect us to score 3, and I didn't expect us to look like a good team in the first half. So, again, we can go into all that. But I do think it was a good reaction. There was positives out of it. Yes, there's negatives in it as well. There's no two ways about it. I know it's like I'm repeating myself, but a lot of other people do it on the show, so I'll do it as well for the fun of it. And with that, there was positives and negatives in the game. I mean, if you're going to sit there and say the game was solely negative, again, you're entitled to it. That's your opinion. But I don't think it was. I think there was definitely positive sides to the game as well. And this is where I think a lot of people have a problem. How do I put this? It's like what I said with opinions. Try and get the other person's point on why they've got that opinion. You might not understand it. I mean, some things in life you understand, some things you get it, and some things you will just never understand and get it unless it happens to you. Not going to go into them details either, but that's just the way I look on things, yeah? At least when you have a chat with someone and someone's got a different opinion to you, at least try and get their opinion. If you can't understand it because it's a bit warped, and I must say some Spurs supporters do have strange opinions. I mean, I've been grilled with a couple myself. I mean, I think we're all guilty of it. But at least try and get their point. At least try and let them have their point and try and get their point. If you can't understand it, try and get it. Right, so you think we had a negative game. Why? Give me your reasons. I want to understand why you think we had a negative game. That's not you. I'm just talking about people in general. And I don't think this is something people struggle with. Like why I put on the start of it, opinions. Some people you can give your opinion to all you want and you might as well talk to a fucking brick wall. Some people you can give your opinion to and they just ain't going to get it. They don't understand it, but at least they bloody try. And then other people, they seem to want to get your opinion more, but they won't change theirs. You don't have to change yours, but you can at least agree to disagree. But for me, positives and negatives in that one. And God, mate, what is YouTube doing here? Seriously, that's the easiest thing for me. Some of these fucking names on here, man. I mean, as usual, fans have gone crazy on the hype of Bergvall and Gray, mate. You know what? Yeah, that is so true. We are so fucking guilty of doing that all the time. We do it all the bloody time. It's another Spursy thing we do, in my opinion. I thought Gray was decent, but Bergvall was average, poor passing and control. The hype train is unreal. Yeah. Don't know what else I can say to that, mate. I think you're 100% right. I'm 100% with you on that one. 100% with you. I mean, for that first half, I think that's the best I've seen Gray play for us. Yeah, and to be fair, he's a young player and he hasn't exactly been given all the chances in the world to play in his position as such. And he's coped well enough, I think, but he's also taken a lot of stick, me being one of them, because for 40 million, I think that was totally put up the wall and we should have got a player that was established. But I think everybody who knows me by now knows that one, and everyone who watches the Spurs channels regular, especially if you are going, must be sick of the name Archie fucking Gray. I mean, it's like you're doing your wallpaper, like painting it up, and you say to your missus, like, what colour do you want it? She said grey. You almost like pass out. Like, I've heard that word too fucking much. But I think he had a good first half. I think that was a lovely lob over he done, pass basically, so we could get it, so Mane could get it over and Richarlison get the easy ender in the back of the net. I thought he had a good first half. I thought he had a very positive first half. I think that's the best I've seen him play for us. Second half, I think he got lost in the game personally, where PSG upped it. Not just one gear, but 2 gears as far as I saw it. I think it was too much for him. Bergvall first half, I think he had a good first half, but I agree with what you're saying. I think he was average. Why do I say that? I think he got stuck into the game well. He wanted to play the game, you could see that. But for me, he done nothing different to what he usually does, except he done it a bit better. And what I mean by that is, he got the ball, and he got forward with it. That's what he does. But there's never anything on the end of it. Hardly ever. I mean, there was one point where he had it running down the left flank. He had an open pass across him and he screwed it up. He had 2 players sitting there waiting for him. Absolutely screwed it up. And with him, I think there is definitely a player there, without a doubt. I've definitely seen more positive on Bergvall over the past year than I have Gray. But then Bergvall has definitely had more chances playing in his position, whatever else. But the problem is with Bergvall, there is nothing on the end of it, hardly ever. You can press forward all you want, but if you can't pass the bloody ball or you can't shoot the bloody ball and whatever, what does it matter? I mean, at least with Sarr, another player that I don't rate too highly, don't think he's bad, but definitely don't think he's good. I think he's an average player. I think he's a better version of Bergvall, basically. At least with him, you do see a pass at times, and now and again you see a goal and a shot at times. But he's good at pressing forward. But with Bergvall, you just seem to see nothing at the end of it. And it is, for me, I find it frustrating with him. But I totally agree with what you're saying. Some people, I mean, no saying no names, Lubo, are gonna get totally hyped up with Gray because he had a very good first half. Yeah, I'll say very good first half. Not just good. I think he had a very good first half. I was pretty, if I say impressed, I wouldn't say that's an exaggeration, but by his standards and how I've seen him play, more than respectable. I think he had a very good first half, playing PSG as well. I mean, you got to look at it. When he came on against PSG in that first game that we played them, he touched the ball once in 20 minutes? So you can definitely say he improved for it without a doubt. And I do. I think, but people are going to go and do what Spurs supporters do and big it up to the point where all of a sudden you think we've just signed Messi. With what you've said there, mate, you're 1,000,000% right as far as I'm concerned. And a couple more not going to the players, like really behind on here now, but either way. And Ghosted, big up, Dan, big up, mate. Good to see ya. And yeah, okay, you put that wrong. Okay. I don't know what you meant to mean by there, but either way, morning. And Lynn, what you're saying here, in my humble opinion, the game you needed Frank to shut up shop once you were ahead, and he didn't do that, which was a very shame because you started off very well. The game we needed to shut up shop properly was that first game against PSG, and I think he got the subs wrong in that one. That one, we did not need to shut up shop. We weren't in no position to shut up shop, in my opinion, because it would have just been too long. And someone like PSG hammering at you. I mean, look what Arsenal did at us when we shut up shop from day. And if we go and do that against PSG, what phrase do I? We're fucked. That's the only phrase I can use. So I'm sorry, I can't agree with that. With 10 minutes left, I agree. Shut that bloody door. Park the bus. Do whatever you want to call it. But we was not in a position where we could do that. Do you know what? Maybe I'm just misunderstanding what you're saying. When we went ahead in that first half, maybe with 10 minutes left in the first half, 5 minutes, 10 minutes left in the first half, shut up shop, go out into the second half, one go up. If that's what you're trying to say, you know what? Then I'll back down from that and I can go with that one. But then when you come on for the second half, you go for the game. You don't continue to shut up shop for the second half as well. So if that's the point you're trying to put across, then do you know what? I'll back down and I'll say fair play. I'll agree with that. But if you're saying shut up shop from the minute we go ahead with them, you ain't doing that for 45, 60 minutes, 70 minutes with PSG. It is not happening. And now I'm getting the full one here. Roy Marsh, we are Arsenal. We beat you again 4-1. No shit, Sherlock. I know that. But thanks for the kiss. It's appreciated. And Ghosted, I predicted 6-1. So 5-3 weren't that bad. Yes, I predicted 5-0. And Gaffer, come on, Ray Marsh, let's behave. The Spuds of fifth. And do you know what? Pair of you, go forth and fucking multiply. But there we go. And Rory, nothing better than hearing the Spud supporters failing again. Yeah, well, we'll see how you do at the end of the season. Do you know what? What I say, I mean, look, you've got it in the palm of your hands this year. You really have. No one out there is being consistent. You're looking good. You know what? You's not go and fuck this season up. That will be the worst one ever. Ever, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people will agree with me. Not just because it's Arsenal. Now, that one where you were like 12 points clear, or was it 9 points clear, whatever it was, but totally clear and you screwed up. That was the second worst screw up for me. The only one worse than that was when Newcastle bottled it completely with Manchester United. But if you do not go and win this season, forget the FA Cup and League Cup. Obviously, you want to win them as well. But if you do not go and win that league this year, that is going to be the biggest bottle job ever. And do you know what? After the past 5 years at least, if anyone can bottle it, Arsenal can. And they've proved it over the past couple of years. They've had it in the palm of their hand already and done it. So don't get too sure of yourself just yet. But I must admit, you are favourites. And I must admit, you're looking bloody good in that fucking Champions League. And I don't like it. But you know what? You're looking good. I can't say otherwise. Otherwise, I'll be a liar to myself. But hey, how shall I put it? Break a leg. You know, in good texture. But yeah, Mashing Joe. Hello, bro. Morning, mate. You should beat Fulham easily. They didn't have a single chance against Everton recently. Yeah, like Rory, will you just fuck off, please, mate? And Ghosted just laughing. And yep, so I'll go into a couple of others now. And Peter, what you're saying here with Tottenham, it's either all out attack or all out defense. Do you know what, mate? I do seem to agree with that one, yeah, because it's it's just one or the other, isn't it? It's like what I said at the start with the opinions with the supporters. I mean, this fan base, this club, it might as well be bloody political. You're either far left or you're far right. Yeah. You know, you're either bloody woke or you're a bloody nut. I can't say that word. Yeah, I think people know what I mean. You're just either one or the other. It might as well be bloody politics at this place. But yeah, it just does. It does just seem to be one or the other. I mean, with Frank, I think we all know we're going to get more of a pragmatic game. And people like different styles of football. And it's why some people are complaining because they say Spurs have got this certain way that Spurs play. Bollocks, I don't agree with that. Again, it's an opinion. And then when I hear it off people, the Spurs way is when we won the double. Well, sorry, I wasn't even bloody alive then. So I don't know the Spurs way. Yeah, I know many ways Spurs do it and I don't like it. But this Spurs way of how we're meant to play, I don't know. I mean, me personally, I don't mind pragmatic football. I'm personally a man who likes three at the back, like to play a 3-4-2, 1-3-4-1-2. I prefer using wing backs and playing it tighter in the middle, basically. And I do like fast counter-attacking football. It's like I think we set up the right formation against Arsenal and played totally the wrong tactics. When I say I want 3 at the back, I don't mean I want 11 men sitting behind the bloody ball where I've even got Richarlison sitting there with a bloody goalkeeper. So, no. And 3 at the back is not out and out defence. But a lot of people don't like that. Other people want to see out and out and love gung-ho football. I don't want to see that crap either. I mean, I couldn't stand it with the inverted wing backs. Frustration was an understatement. For me, anyway. But some people loved it. Some people liked it. You know, it's each to their own. It's very opinionated. But with certain things are going to work better than others. Certain formations are going to work better than others. I think he's still struggling to find the right formation for this team overall, because we're going to have a formation overall, a tactic that he uses a majority of the time. And then why we've got him is why I wanted him, is so we can adapt for certain games. And that doesn't mean change a formation every game, but certain players, certain roles they're going to have to play, that is where you want them to adapt. And that is where I feel Ange definitely got it bloody wrong. And that is where I feel Frank hopefully starts getting that right. But I think he's still struggling to find the right formation for this team that he wants to focus on. This is why I'm interested when it comes to if we buy or loan anyone in January, because some are saying we need left wing, some are saying we need central. I mean, for me, we need both. But I don't actually know what out-and-out formation he wants to use yet. That 4-2-2-2, which it looked like to me last night, when we've played in that formation, that seems to be the one that sort of works a bit. I mean, that's how we've done it with Everton, if I remember right. So maybe that's the one. I don't know what formation he wants. I mean, he might actually end up, when we get our defenders back and everything else, wanting to play with 3 at the back. Then it's not a left winger we need. Then it's definitely a centre mid we need more than a left winger. I just don't know what formation he quite wants as his main formation yet. But time will tell when we start getting players back from injury, if we ever start getting them back. And you know what? Knowing our luck, we get players back from injury and then someone else will break a fucking leg. But that's just the medical side of Spurs, isn't it? And Tequila, morning, mate. Hope you're good. Dan, I think I'm of the view now that long-term Frank is not the guy. But we can use him for this year to tide over for next year. What do you think? Oh, and don't ask me who we get next summer. I've basically just said everything to it, mate, before I come to the question. Basically, I think he needs a bit of time. We've got to give him at least a season, and he definitely needs some transfers and a bit of money spent on him, like Ange managed to get. Again, going to have to keep relating back to Ange because he was the previous one we had last season. And yeah, like I said, we've been playing okay. If we did not get motivated last night, then I would have had serious questions and start thinking, is he the right man for this? Because like I said, if you cannot get your team motivated, your Spurs team, for Arsenal, Chelsea, there's issues there. And then a Champions League game, if we wouldn't have got motivated for that, that is where I'll start getting serious concerns. But we did. And that's what matters for me at the moment. I think saying Frank out, which you haven't said Frank out, but it's obvious you don't want him there. Look, we just got to give it a season and go with a roll. We just got to go with the flow. What else can we do at the moment? And then question it game by game, basically. But I know there's a lot of people who didn't want him in there. I know there's a lot of people that did. It's just, again, it's who we are, Spurs supporters. I mean, basically, we're cut up like an ounce into apes, aren't we? Like when you split up that fan base, that is what we are, basically. There is so many different divides in this bloody fan base. There's so many different sides of it. It is very true when it comes to that. You can just never seem to get a majority with the same side of it as such. We are very questionable. And Rory, let it all walk out. Oh, mate, will you just do one? Seriously, I got the picture, mate. Seriously, I got the picture. But Ange went toe-to-toe with Tamworth and extra time needed. Okay, right. Let's get to some of the players here, yeah? And then, obviously, I'm just going to go through and read a couple of others, but I'm definitely well behind on that already. So where do we go with the players here? I mean, for me, I look at this and, like I said, I think some players had a good game. I think in the first half, I think we was good. overall, I think we was good. Started slacking towards the end of the last 5 minutes as such. I mean, the stats, if I read them here, I mean, we all knew PSG was going to have most of the ball. I mean, it was 67 to 32 on possession. Shots, 15 to them, 11 to us. Can't say that's bad. Shots on target, 6 to them, 5 to us. So, not sad. Corners, 5 all. You know, on the stats, it don't look too sad. Accurate passes, oh my God, did they do it over us? 554 to 209. But who really thought we would go out there with any sort of even keeping up with them, let alone beating them as such? So either way, it is what it is in that one. And Vicario, look, for me, he did what he could. I mean, he let in 5 goals for sure. But what's his name? Vitnaha, I can't pronounce his bloody name. Vitnaha, whatever his name. I mean, bloody, that shot he took. No one saving that. That weren't down to the keeper. That was down to the defenders. They should have been pressing on him, not giving him the time to have the shot. Like they did for the second and like the screw up for the other. I think 3 of those goals were definitely defensive faults by us. Spursy moments where we just sort of switch off. But I don't blame Vicario for none of them, really. It just, you can say he let in 5 goals and you could give him a bad rating, but in my opinion, what else did you expect him to do? But I'll give him a 6 for that because I think he did his job as good as he could. I mean, no one was saving those shots. I mean, and Porro, I mean, the other one they've got that I rate highly, who they got off Napoli, if I remember right, again, like hell, am I even going to try and pronounce his bloody name? Kevachelet, whatever his fucking, some of these names, I struggle with pronouncing English names, let alone foreign names, yeah. And he's a bloody good player. He's a good player. And as usual, on the defensive side of it, Porro got pretty much run into the ground. He's not a good defender. He's a bloody wing back that is not a right back, and he's getting caught out game after game. I don't think he had a bad game, but he definitely didn't have a good game as such. I mean, he's one I'd definitely give a 5 because I don't think any of that defense were pretty much good. He does get turned over in a lot of the games. He gets focused on because he can't bloody defend. I know there's people on here who think he can defend. The main one I hear from it is, yeah, but he's improved. Okay. If we go back to last season, I'd say defense, he was shit. Now he's just very poor. So okay, he's improved. If you're happy with that as an improvement, then fair play to you. But he's not a bloody defensive-minded player. The poor fella is a wing back and he wants to get forward. And he's good at it. And he's good at crossing the ball. I mean, of late, he just hasn't really been up to form, even when he got forward in a lot of games. But it's games like this where he gets focused on, he's just going to get overrun. And he did. In the second half, he just got overrun, just like the rest of our defense, basically. He just got done. I mean, you can walk away with that saying the better team won. I mean, here's one way I'm going to go into this one, yeah? Romero. Again, has proved to me, like I said at the start, and for anyone who wasn't watching, he's not a world-class player. He has his world-class games. There's no 2 ways about it. I don't question that. On his day, I think he's as good as a majority of defenders out there. I still think there's better. But on his day, I think he's up there with the best. He just don't have enough days. He's too bloody inconsistent. He'll have 2 games of a 9, and then he'll have a 5, a 4, a 9. I mean, someone tried sending me his stats, almost saying that he's played better than bloody Van der Ven this season. Stats are stats, but for me, stats can be very deceiving and stats can lie in certain aspects. Or I won't say lie, but like I say, they can be very deceiving. I mean, for me, Romero, is consistency is few and far between. But then when he's not playing in defence as well, I don't know, we don't always seem to look the part either. It's a bit of a catch-22 with him, I find. But for me, he's not a world-class player. He's too bloody inconsistent. And 9 times out of 10, he always turns up for the big games. That is one thing you can give him. When it comes to the big games, like a final or something, 9 times out of 10, he turns up. Okay, Chelsea came on, he looked pretty respectable, but Arsenal, no one turned up. This game, I thought he was fucking abysmal, and he's meant to be the captain. As soon as he got done on a couple of chances that went past him, and that, again, for me, he just had another game where he switched off and wandered about. One thing he's definitely good at is when he gets the ball, he's definitely one of the better passers we've got and passing the ball forward. But, mate, he got the ball a few times yesterday, and we're running forward, and he stands there. And you're like, well, pass the ball then. But he stands there. He does slow the game down at times. It's like he always looks for that special pass, not just that simple one that could keep the game flowing as such. Again, that's just purely my opinion on that. But I don't think many people are going to argue with me on this one in the aspect of last night. I thought he was bad. I mean, first half, he was not good. Second half, I thought he was probably the worst player on the pitch. I mean, he screwed it up for the third goal. What was it? Was it the fifth or the fourth goal? I think it was the fourth goal that he screwed it up. And also the handball for a penalty, which I didn't think was quite a fair penalty, but penalty rules are penalty rules these days. I don't think most of us know how the penalty rules work. I mean, I wouldn't like to play with my hands behind my back all the time, and that I do think something has to be sorted out with that when it comes to a handball. Something is just, I mean, how are you meant to fall on the bloody ground, for God's sake? Even my wife was saying that. Like, well, how's he meant to fall with his hands behind his back, basically? But the rules are the rules. But Romero, I mean, I think the other question I've got, is he captain material? It's a question that I keep asking, basically. Is he captain material? In that aspect, I should have put that on at the start, sorry. But with his mentality and style of play, when he's on a good day, he is the sort of player I want as a captain. Someone who's got a bit of personality, someone who's got a bit of aggression. This is where I'm old school. I want a captain like Roy Keane. I want a captain like Katassa. I want a captain like, I hate to say it, like Patrick Vieira. I think he's one of the best players ever been in the Premier League. Like it or lump it, whether he's Arsenal or not. I mean, when I played football, I played as goalkeeper and then came out of that, tried defence, too many penalties, and then played DM role. Absolutely loved it. Always watched Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira, the two of my favourite all-time players for the position they played and the way they played. And captains like, again, I know a lot of people don't like him, but a John Terry sort of thing, stuff like that. Even Gerrard, you know, like playing with a bit of aggression on him, bit of front on him. And Romero's got that. But with Spurs, it's always but, isn't it? There's always a but on it. But he's too fucking inconsistent. He's too inconsistent. And a captain is meant to be the one that when it's going wrong, keeps the players going on the pitch. Get stuck into the game. Like, come on, boys, let's keep it going. I am starting to question, is he the captain material? But then who else have we got? At the moment, the only other one that I see as captain material is Van der Ven. I mean, he was captain, if I remember right, for the Dutch under-21s. And when he has captained us, been captain, I think he's been respectable. He's done it all right and that. He's young. But is Romero captain material? It's just too bloody inconsistent. And I know people will defend him to the hilt. But I will still sit here and say, again, he's too inconsistent. And I do think he is an overrated player. Good player. Very good in his day, but he's not bloody world class. Not for me, anyway. I think the phrase world class just gets used too bloody easy. I mean, we can go into a whole big one on this. When you look at world class now, and then I'll go back 20 years and I'll show you world class, and 9 out of 10 players you call world class now don't even lace the boots of what you call world class 20 years ago. So, but again, that's a different story. But for me, Romero, absolute shocker last night. Not impressed in any means or manner. I mean, Mickey van der Ven, he started the game well, but second half, he just got run ragged with the rest of the defence, basically. I don't think he had a bad game, but I don't think he particularly had a good game. Again, I think the second half brought a lot of the scores down, if you want to rate him out of 10. And Romero, I'll give him a 2 for last night. But I mean, Van der Ven, I can give him a 5. I mean, his first half was respectable, like most of the team. But the second half, I think PSG, where they stepped it up a gear, showed us why they are the champions, and the better team won. And yeah, he got outrun in that second half, just like the rest of them. So Spence, with Van der Ven, I'll give him a 5. And Spence, I thought he had a respectable game overall. I think he done pretty well. And I think out of the 4 at the back, I think he was the one who played the better out of them. Now, I'm not saying he had a great game. I think he had a good first half, again, along with everyone else. Got smothered in the second half, along with everyone else. But I thought he got forward. I thought he went forward good. But definitely the better defender overall on the night, if you want to rate it out the 4 of them. And one of the efforts you can see with him, one of the problems you can see with him is when he does get up front, he's having to put it on that right foot, innit? He can't just hook it in now. And you can see that problem. Like we used to see with Kulusevski on the right-hand side, when he always had to try and put it over onto his left foot because he's got lack of control on his right foot as such. And it does show with him. You can see there's times where he wants to put that pass in there, but he has to cut it in to get it on his right foot to do it. And it does show. But I give him a 6 because I do think out of the 4 defenders, I think he had the better overall game out of everybody on the defensive side. I mean, when it comes to Sarr, usual thing with Sarr, great energy. I mean, first half, I thought he started really well. And then second half, just like most of the team, got tired, got done basically. And third goal, if it was the third or the 4th goal, I think it was the 3rd goal. I don't think that was totally down to him. I think that was more down to Romero with a shocking pass he done to him, if I remember that again. But he faded out. He faded out. Again, Sarr for me, I think he's an okay player. I don't rate him, but I don't think he's bad. I think he's good to have as a squad player, but he's definitely one who I wouldn't necessarily want in a first 11. But what options do we really have? I mean, now, I'll give him. He started the game well. I thought he really did, and he does have an engine on him. He really does. That is one thing. That is one thing Sarr does have. I mean, I'm wondering why. I think he's in the wrong bloody sport. If I'm going to be honest, he should be a marathon runner. I mean, he has got an engine on him, and he has got pace. But yeah, he got lost out in the game in the second half in the end, like a few of the players did. And I've gone to Bentancur. Now, he's one who's been getting a lot of stick lately. I mean, he's another one for me where he's very, very up and down. 1 minute, you see him have a good game. Next minute, you see him have a bad game. It's either one or the other with him. I don't really think I think similarities to what I've said about Romero. And difference is he doesn't do world-class performances. Romero does now and again. And with that, it's always you just don't really know what Bentancur you're going to get on the pitch. And I think a lot of people have given him a lot of stick lately. They don't like him playing alongside Paulinho. I think them two bring out a good side of each other defensively, but when it comes to going forward, but then when you look on the stats, Bentancur is our most forward passing player as such in midfield. But then what do you call a forward pass, basically? Is it just kick it a metre and it goes to the next fella? That's where, I mean, stats can be deceiving. But then who else do we have there? Bentancur, I think he was definitely one of the players that overall had a good game, basically. And I think overall he had a good game. I thought his first half was good, and I thought his second half, even though we got totally smothered, I think overall he actually had an overall good game. I mean, he kept pressing a lot of the time. He won the ball up. He won the ball a lot for a change. I mean, you don't usually see him press that high up the pitch, and he was doing it last night. And I think overall Bentancur had a good game. Unlike half the other players who had a good first half, but then got totally smothered in the second, I don't think he got smothered in the second half. I think he had a good game overall. And I do think he just gets a bit more stick than he deserves. After those injuries he had, I'll agree with a lot of people, he hasn't really been the same player. We've seen moments of it and that, but he just hasn't really been the same that we see him when we first got him, basically. And I think that's what frustrates a lot of people with him, basically, because we have seen him be pretty consistent as a good player. But those times I think are pretty much done and dusted. I mean, for me, another one good to have as a squad player overall, but one we can definitely improve on. But overall, I think he was one that you can say definitely had an overall respectable game. And yeah, most of the others didn't. So with him, I do think, I think overall I give him a 7 because I just do think his whole game was good. I mean, we go to Archie Gray. Now, again, like we said earlier, I know there's a lot of people out there who are just going to roll their eyes at it, and there's a lot of people who are just going to get extremely excited over it. First half, can't really complain. I mean, that foot he put, that cross he put over, brilliant. Got us a goal on that. Yeah, I thought his first half was very good. Second half, I thought pretty much as soon as he came out, was he tired or was it he just got lost in the game? Personally, I just think he got lost in the game. When PSG upped the gears and that, they were too much for him. Definitely too much. Because in the first half, I think we all know PSG weren't playing at their best, but we were still giving them a game. And second half, they definitely upped the gears and showed us who the better team is. And I think Archie Gray just got lost in the game, basically. He just, But actually, for once, positive, I can talk about Archie Gray. I've seen a positive 45 minutes of him. Okay, right, positive 45 minutes. But I'm not going to get stupidly excited over it and now start saying that he's got to be a starter game in, game out. There's going to be people that do say that. There's already people saying that. People saying he should start over Bentancur or this or that, whatever. And that's not just one person. That's quite a few people that I read on WhatsApp or also read on Facebook and other things and that, or X on there, whatever. Again, it's each their own opinion, but I still don't think he's ready to be to be in our team consistently. And we need to have better options than that. But again, a very positive first half for him, which is a good sign. I've at least actually seen now that he can do something. Because before then, if I'm going to be honest, I mean, it sounds like I'm being harsh with the younger players, basically. But I haven't seen nothing really where I can look at him and say, there's a player there, basically. I've seen him start where he's had to start and have a respectable game here and there, sort of thing. And last night, I actually saw a positive thing for him for the 45 minutes, for a solid 45 minutes at least. Yes, like I said, second half, he got overwhelmed in it. But then so did basically the whole team, bar a couple of players. So, yeah, credit where credit is due. He gets enough shit off of people like me because I don't think he's ready yet, and I haven't seen much off of him that would say that. But you've got to give credit where credit is due as well. So if you're gonna slate him and grill him, you've also got to say the credit where it's due. And I do think he deserves a bit of respect for last night. And let's just hope we can build on that. Let's just hope he can. I still think the best thing we can do for the boy is put him out on loan. I mean, with the injury problems we got at the moment, we can't really afford to do that. But at the end of the season, we bring some players in, hopefully transfers, this and that. For me, he's a player that I would put out on loan because I don't think playing the odd game here or there or playing 10 minutes here or there does a player any favours. I personally don't. Some people think it's good for a player to sit next to a better player as such who's been playing for a while and basically sit there with his notepad and play the odd 10 minutes and learn off him. Okay, I get the point. I don't agree with it. I think you get more out of a player and the player learns more when you go and stick him on loan somewhere and he plays week in, week out, consistent games, basically. I think you learn more playing on the pitch than you will do sitting there with a notepad, even if you're sitting there next to bloody Messi or Ronaldo or world-class player, whatever, who can teach you things in that. But I think you learn more through doing something, not through reading the bloody book. But again, it's another one, it's each their own. But I think Gray last night, we can definitely say there were positive sides to it. With Bergvall, again, another one. I think he started the game really well, pressed forwards, but nothing different. He was just better at what he usually does. And like I said at the start, that's pressing the ball forward. And he was good with it, but nothing at the end of it, basically. I mean, well, actually, I'll take that back. For that first goal where he basically flicked it past the player, if I remember that right, and got it to Gray, nice little bit of skill there. So with that bit, fair enough. But in general, he presses forward. You get nothing at the end of it. And if you don't get a pass at the end of it, or you don't get at least a shot at the end of it, you can press all you want at the end of the day. And I think he was just better at what he usually does, and that was just pressing forward. And I think he should have come off earlier. I think Gray should have come off earlier. I think Kudus should have come on for Bergvall and Simmons come on for Gray or whatever way you want to put it. Because I think he left the subs. Frank definitely left the subs too late. And again, another one, good first half. And I think he also got lost in the second half, basically. And now here's one where a lot of people will question, yeah? I mean, starting with two strikers as well, I must admit, I was a bit like, okay. Like, I think everyone knows Richarlison is a player I don't rate. The majority of the time, I think he's fucking awful. I mean, every time the ball seems to touch his foot, it bounces like 6 yards off it. Oh, pardon me. And but one thing I will give Richarlison, I'll say 8 times out of 10, whenever he plays, he tries. He at least gets stuck into a game and tries. And he did last night. I thought in the first half, I thought he did well. And I think he deserved the goal, got in the right position, couldn't have really got an easier header, but he was there. And, well, if he wouldn't have been there, wouldn't have had a goal. And I think, like the rest of the team, he struggled in the second half. But I think overall, I mean, that's what is it now? Is that 3 goals in 4 games for him, or 3 goals in 3 goals in 3 games? I think he's got now. Okay, fair enough. I think you can give a bit of credit where it's due there. I think he was one of the ones who you can say had a good game overall, not just a good first half. Again, lost in it, just like the rest of them really struggled. But I think, like Bentancur, you could say he had a good first half and he had as good as he could second half, where others got completely lost in the game. And I just don't rate him. I really don't. I really don't. But he tries. At least he fucking tries. Poor fella. I mean, he just. I mean, for me, the quicker we sell him, the better. I just don't rate him. But fair play on last night. I mean, so the others we can go into here is now the really positive one here was Moane. I mean, I was not expecting that. I mean, if it wouldn't have been for the PSG player, I personally think Moane was up for man of the match. Some might say, like, that's a Spurs supporter talking. No. I honestly think, personal opinion, he had a banging game from start to when he got taken off, basically. I thought he had a good game. Solid game. And the goals he scored, I mean, what is it? Paris Saint-Germain, his parent club. I think that's how you pronounce it, basically, say it, isn't it? His parent club and everything. 2 goals and an assist. Hopefully, that was the night where he gets rolling, basically. He's on his feet now. He's got goals. He's got an assist. Not really bothered about the assist. Just get the fucking goals. You're a striker, but assists, I ain't going to complain. I think he had a solid night. Definitely worth a 9. And I think the only one who had a better night than him was the PSG player who got the man of the match. And very positive for Moane. I think he worked hard the whole game. Was it that he had a point to prove at PSG? Who knows? Quite possibly. But I think he had a solid game personally. And I think it's a very positive side, that one. If he can play like that in the Premier League now, it's what we're saying we need up front. A striker who's willing to get stuck into the game and put it in the back of the net. And he did. I mean, when Kudus came on, it's, yeah, not much for me. I mean, he came on and I don't think he did a lot. I think he tried, but nothing really of him. I mean, I do rate Kudus as a player and I do think he's good for us since we got him. But I do see one problem with him that I think a few others see. I mean, others disagree. But that's the whole fun on opinions. I do think he hangs on to that ball a bit too long. I mean, some people say he's greedy with the ball. I wouldn't say he's greedy. I just do think a bit like Romero. It's like he waits for that special pass as such. And no, sometimes there's just that simple ball there with that other player that could probably get the better pass in there or whatever. Just pass the fucking ball. And I think like Romero, he hangs on to that ball a bit too much sometimes. And I think he done that last night a couple of times. And I've seen him do it in quite a few games that he's played, where at moments he does just hang on to that ball a bit too much. But when he came on, really, we was already done and dusted, basically. I mean, what was it he came on for? 10, 15 minutes, something like that. I mean, Paulinho, the same. He came on. I think he steadied up our midfield and definitely gave us a bit of strength there and that. I mean, you can at least, I mean, when he came on, you can at least say there were no more goals scored. But again, come on with lack of time. I mean, Simmons, another one. Question is, why isn't he starting at the moment? Why isn't he starting? They're the sort of questions I've got there. Is it, yeah, why isn't he starting? Is it the way that Frank wants to play, or is there something going on? I don't know. I don't know. Does he think he's not quite ready yet? I don't know. There's a couple of games now where he hasn't started where I would have thought he would start. And without him there, and definitely without Maddison, which we know we haven't got, what creativity do we have? But we still scored 3 goals. So, and yeah, I mean, that fucking elbow he took to the face. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know players go down like a sack of shit for no reason, yeah? And I'm the first one to say it. I think 9 out of 10 players these days are absolute pussies, if I'm going to put it properly. And they wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes, 15, 20 years ago. Make yourself sound old saying that. But they wouldn't. They'd have absolutely destroyed out there. I think players these days, they go down so fucking easy. It's embarrassing. I mean, half the players that go down as easy as they do, if you was walking up the road with your missus and someone slapped you in the face, would you hit the floor like a sack of shit like that? I'd hope not. I wouldn't be able to play like that, even if the manager told me to play like that, I know I've got a million people around the world watching me. But that's just me. Maybe I got too much pride in that aspect, if that's the right word to use. I just wouldn't be able to do it. And some of them just go down like a sack of shit. Like, I mean, Richarlison's one of the worst ones for it. Flick him on the ear and he goes down like a sack of shit. But Simmons, that elbow where he was running full pace. I mean, who was it who done that to him? Was it Hernandez, if I remember right? Who was it? Yeah, I think that was Hernandez. God, that was fucking nasty. I'm surprised he didn't get a broken nose out of that. That proper banged him straight up the head. Red card all day long. All day long. And yeah, why did he do it? I mean, I think the question that me and my missus were talking about, was it intended, like, to bang him clean in the face like that? Or was it more of a get the fuck off my back sort of thing? I don't know, but either way, that was a nasty elbow to the face, and that was a red card, without a doubt. And there's no ifs, buts, maybes about it, whether it was intentional, not intentional. He was running at full pace, he nearly took his fucking nose out. So in that aspect, I mean, they talk about concussion sort of thing. I would have thought the elbow he got in the face there could give you concussion. I thought it hit him that hard. I felt a bit sorry for him. I wouldn't have liked to take that elbow. That looked pretty hard. Some might say maybe I'm over-exaggerating it. I don't think I am. That hit him clean in the face. I think it's also where you see things in slow motion, where the elbow hits him in the face and you sort of see his face change shape and come back to it sort of thing. Like with some of the tackles, it makes it look worse. But I think that elbow was pretty savage. I mean, so when it comes down to the whole thing last night, I think we need to look on more the positive side of it. Obviously, we need to improve and do better and everything else. I know all that shit. I know that. Like, no shit, Sherlock. I know that, yeah? But, again, there's always a but with Spurs, isn't it? It's just going to take a bit of time. And for once, as I've said 10 times already, I see us with a bit of fight. And that's all I've been asking for. And let's just hope we can improve from that, basically, and take it from there. And start putting effort into games, getting stuck into games, not just being bloody Spursy all the time. Yes, I think we lost it on Spursy moments last night, because I think 20, 25 minutes of that second half, we were very Spursy with some of the goals we give away. But I think we can also walk away from that game and say we got beaten by the better team. Simple as that. I think we can actually just walk away with that game and say, yeah, the better team done us, and it showed. So I don't know what everyone else thinks, but that's just the way I'm going to take that one. I'm going to try and take this one with more of a positive side to it, because I do think there was more positive sides to it than negative sides to it. It's just one thing we are never, ever going to lose, or not for a bloody long time, is that Spursy name, especially when we keep having our bloody moments. And so, going to go through a few more in the chat. If there's some questions on there, just go through them with them and that, and then just go from there. So, John, big up Dan, big up to you too, mate. Morning. And also Collective, morning, Dan. How are you, bud? I had a fucking shit night's sleep because the dog didn't stop howling. Don't know why, he just didn't stop howling. He was all right when I took him out for a walk. I just think he's at that stage where he just wants to get laid now. Simple as that. So, gonna have to put him on the market, because stud Rottweiler, gonna definitely put him out there, and we're going to get some money, because people are going to want to use him to produce. But because of him, I had a bloody terrible night's sleep last night. I mean, how my wife slept through the whole bloody thing, the dog howling, I don't know. I didn't. So, agitated, yeah. Boss, Arsenal run North London, mate. Yes, at the moment they do. No shit, Sherlock. I think we all know that one. But let's see what you do at the end of the season. A Collective saying he needs time, but can't believe we are talking about the sack. Yes, I see where you're going there with that one. We've already said that, mate. I think he needs time. Anyone needs time. Hey, Boss Man, this says, how comes you always wear glasses indoors? Okay, I'll answer that question for you. They're not glasses, as in glasses. They're not sunglasses. I've got tonic-clonic epilepsy. Now, the problem is with that is looking at a screen does me no favours. I can sit there and look at the screen for 5-10 minutes, fine. But if I look at a screen too long, especially the white lights, and what a monitor does, what a lot of people don't know, it flickers all the time. And you don't see it. But I do. And I have to wear these photosensitive glasses for when I'm sitting in front of a monitor for a certain amount of time where it's so close up to my face or whatever. Otherwise, it can have bad reactions. So that's why I have to wear the glasses, mate. It is what it is. Watching TV and that's fine. Or if I was at the back over there, probably be fine. It's just where I'm so close up to the monitor, even if I dim the screen out, which I do and whatever, and get a dimmer for the screen and that, where it's flickering all the time, it can definitely have a bad effect. And yeah, that's why I just have to wear them. They're photosensitive. They ain't fucking cheap either. Then again, nothing's cheap these days. And George saying, Dan, for me, you need a settled 11. Yes, we haven't got a settled 11. I'd say we got 6 that we can pick in that team straight away. But, always a but. But there's another four positions on there that there's just no set player to play there at the moment. And you're right on what you're saying there with the chopping and changing every week. Can't be easy to find consistency, in my honest opinion. Do you know what? No, I'll go with that, mate. That's a fair comment. That's a fair statement. It is true. I mean, it's what Stell says. And I do agree with him in the aspect of if we're going to play a 4-2-3-1 most of the time or whatever, and we haven't got the left winger and that, stick Odegaard on there, or Tell, or whoever you're going to use. Odegaard seems to be the main one that he seems to like at the moment for that position. And just play him on there consistently and see how it goes from there. Because what other options do we really have for it? We don't. So I agree with Stell in that aspect. Not that I rate Odegaard personally. I think he's had an all right couple of games when he's played in that. But again, you can see I don't think he is another player that I want in my first 11. And I don't think many else do. But I do think it would help if we just stuck to do you know what? Fuck it. Just put him there until we get someone in January, if we do get someone in January. Or keep it going until the end of the season, whatever way you want to do it, but at least get the player there and give him some consistent time there. So with that one, I do agree with you, but there is a couple of positions there where it's just who do you put in there? What is the best 11? Like I say, the back 5 counts for itself. You know, like the goalkeeper. When I say back 5, I mean the goalkeeper as well as 4 defenders and that. They pretty much speak for themselves. The only one you can question is, do you play Spence on the right or the left? Or do you play Porro? Do you play a Dogie? But it pretty much speaks for itself. Centre mid, you can say Paulinho walks into it, and I know people don't like it, but who is actually better than Bentancur? For me, Archie Gray is not better than Bentancur, and neither is Sarr, but I suppose it depends what game you want to play. So we've already got a question there. Out on the right, obviously it goes Kudus, but then you got in the middle, you got on the left, and up front, I think Moane has just stuck the nail on it and got his place there, basically. So it's going to be chopping and changing there, basically. It is until we get consistent players there, basically. And we've just got it's just we got to go with the flow, basically, in that aspect. And it's annoying, but yeah. I mean, what's John saying here? Like, if you win the Europa, it means your club's in a bad position. Let's be honest. The only reason we didn't get to win it is because we wasn't shit enough to be in it. I mean, is that an Arsenal supporter there? I mean, if it is, you have one thing Arsenal have no right to do is brag about Europe. When it comes to Europe, Arsenal are the most embarrassing, underachieving team in the world, as far as I'm concerned. A club of that caliber and size and power that they have had over the years. What was it? In that Champions League 22, 23, 24 years running, was it? 22 years? And you get to one fucking final. This is if you are an Arsenal supporter. I'm just taking it as you are. One final. We've done that in, 4 years straight. One final. This is why Arsenal can't get off. Again, it's an opinion. But for me, it's like where you go to a big restaurant get-together and you have the top bod sitting on the table over there, and then you have the other tables. Arsenal have to sit on the same table as Spurs as far as I'm concerned. Why? What have Arsenal won that we haven't? Okay, people will say the Premier League. Well, the Premier League's just another name for the league, isn't it? We've won the league. We've won the FA Cup. We've won everything they've won. Just with different names. But they've done a lot better job at it than us. And they're a lot bigger club. In Europe, you're absolute shambles. You're pathetic. You have got nothing to preach about when it comes to Europe. You have got a worse European record at Arsenal. You won less than Spurs, yeah? So when it comes to sitting on that table, Arsenal have to sit on there with us. They don't even get to sit on that table with Aston Villa, with Forest, AC Milan, Juventus, Dortmund, Munich, PSG, Chelsea, Man U, Liverpool, City. Why? Because you ain't won that Champions League. You ain't one of the big boys until you win that Champions League. That is why Man City was so desperate to do it. They'd have given up a couple of their seasons to just take one Champions League off Liverpool. And that was what they were so desperate to do. So any Arsenal supporter even says a word about Europe, they are the most embarrassing club ever when it comes to European. When it comes to England and that, they're one of the best over the years. No ifs or buts about it. Twice the size of us. When someone says to me, yeah, but Arsenal have won more, like, no shit, Sherlock, tell me something I don't fucking know. But when it comes to Europe, you're a shambles. You should be embarrassed about yourselves. That is why you don't sit there with a Chelsea or a Man U or a Juventus or an AC Milan or an Inter Milan, and the list goes on and on and on. And you've been in one final in your fucking life. Sit down and wind your neck in. And Philly 2109, you're right, mate. Romero is a world-class liability. Yes, he is. No two ways about it. Oh, and thanks. Just seen this coming up a bit later on it. Jerome 2114, much appreciated, mate. What are your thoughts on Frank so far, Dan? I think I've put it clear on my thoughts so far. I think he's been all right. I think there's been games, just to answer your question, if you didn't already hear me say it, I think there's been games where we have looked just as bad, if not worse, than we was with Ange, like that Arsenal game, like I keep saying. And I think there's games we've looked good. And overall, I personally think we've been respectable, basically. We've been okay. I mean, our home record definitely has to change. I mean, what the fuck goes on there, I don't know. I mean, our away record is good, but our home record is not good at all. And it hasn't been good for a long time now. And that's definitely where we need to improve. But at the moment, with what we've got, what else? I think we're doing all right. Ninth in the league does not look good. But when you look at that league, it is so weird this season and pretty much tight on there. That's all we need to do is win a game, and we're back up in the top four, basically. And yeah, I think we're doing okay. I think he's doing an okay job. Room for a lot of improvement, but in that aspect, we need the players to do it. And this is where I don't think we're going to see nothing until the summer where we can start judging properly. And what I mean by judging properly is judging the club. Because January is going to be a very hard time to make any transfers, without a doubt. It always is a nightmare. This one, we might be able to get some loans or a transfer out there because the World Cup is coming and there might be a couple of good players who aren't necessarily good enough for the quality team they're in, and we might be able to snatch them up. Now, I don't want us just going out and digging them, just buying another bloody Archie Gray or something, or another Odegaard or another Tell. I want us to go out there and buy a good, solid player. Yeah. If we can't get that, I would rather we go and loan a player or actually get no one. I don't want us to buy cheap. I don't want us to buy shit or players that might be good in 2-3 years' time. We need them now, not yesterday. We do need them yesterday, not in 2 years' time. We need them now, basically, yeah. And I'd rather we got no one in January instead of just some woeful little thing. But I think we can get a couple of loans in January. I don't think we're going to be able to see anything change really until the end of the summer transfer window. That is when we're going to see how much ENIC have changed, how much they mean business. Do they mean business? I mean, the way it's been over the years with ENIC, they probably don't. I think by the end of the summer window, we will have more of a idea of the club's plans as such. And I think by the end of the summer, you will also be able to sit there and see whether Levy was the main problem or was the problem higher than Levy. I mean, I do think Levy was a big part of the problem, no two ways about it. But he wasn't the boss as such. There was a big man above him as such. And yes, he run the club, whatever else, but there was a man above him. So it's not going to be until the end of the summer window that we're actually going to see whether we mean business. And what you're saying there, John, and yet we'll always be more successful than you. Yes, of course you will, mate, but you're still a fucking embarrassment in Europe. Wind your neck in, fella. And so yeah, Matt, what are you saying here, mate? PSG rested most of their players for Spurs. It was basically their B team. I don't think it was quite their B team. I wouldn't quite go that far. But second half, they totally upped it and just totally showed who was the better, superior team. No two ways about it. I mean, I totally agree with that, 100%. Mashy Joe, Romero is not world class. No, he's not. He only won a World Cup because of Wane's famous miss in the last seconds of the World Cup final, and because of FIFA's referees helped Messi all throughout the tournament. Maybe a bit drastic way to put it, but he's not world class. He's not world class, not for me. And Wild also saying Romero is just the type of player I like. He has his strengths, but I wouldn't be happy with a centre back like that. No, I totally agree with you there. So I'm going to stroll it down to the bottom, speak a couple of others, and then got a couple of things to do. And Mike, how you doing, mate? Good to see you on here. What are you saying here? Are you just saying it to someone else? Behave, little bro, or I will block you. I don't call people. See you next Tuesdays. I mean, well, that's how far I've scrolled down. Mike, I haven't seen anything on there. Vindaloo, you know what? Level-headed Arsenal supporter. Don't mind you on here. You speak sense, well, as much as you can as an Arsenal supporter. So credit where it's due at the end of the day. Big up, Dan. Hope you're well, brother. Hope you're well as well, fella. And yeah, let me just scroll through a couple on here. Wait, yeah, come on, let's see what Vindaloo thinks here. I think if you want to roll with the elite one day, you can't be happy conceding 9 goals in your last 2 games. Not saying Arsenal are in that bracket until we win the Champions League. Like, well, that's exactly what I've said. And see, you got an Arsenal supporter who's actually got a brain. Not many of them. Not many of them. But we do have a couple who do. And yeah, I'm not happy we conceded 9 goals. But especially with that game with you, we shut up shop from day, like I said, and PSG were just the dominant team. And PSG, if we're going to be totally honest out there, of a pretty average team that we've got, I don't think there's many teams out there that can keep up with PSG, even if it is their B team. And it is a pretty average team overall we've got. Got some good players on there, but overall, it's a 7th place team. If we finish 6th or 7th, I'd say that's roundabout right. So really, what did you expect with PSG? At least we scored 3 fucking goals, like I said. And just trying to scroll up and see what you saw on here, Mike. Either way, I'll leave to that one. And Russell is saying here, agreed, Dan. I think as a youngster, he needs to play on loan. Yeah, with Archie Gray, I take it you're saying now. Best chance for minutes. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. He needs game time, for God's sake. And he does. He needs game time. I mean, what we saying here, Mike? He's saying big up, mate, to Vindaloo.
Lots to get better at ours, but if we keep doing what we did yesterday, I think there can be a future. You, on the other hand, fuck me, someone needs to stop you. Yeah, in that aspect, I totally agree. Totally agree with that. Yeah, I mean, but like I've been saying, mate, there was positives from last night. It weren't all, yeah, it weren't all negative, and I just think a few of us need to actually take that in. And Phil saying here, the problem with playing like Spurs did last night is that he uses up a lot of energy. Fair point. And just how he's left for the Fulham game at the weekend is the squad too stretched to his limits. I get your point. Did we burn ourselves out? No, I don't think we totally burnt ourselves out. I think PSG just stepped it up and showed who was the better team. Just like, sit down, boys, we are better than you. And I think that is what happens. And Henry saying, big up, Dan, big up to you, mate. And not even going to try and say that one because I'll probably say that totally the wrong fucking way. How can you get positive when we all knew we was going to get? How can you get a positive? We all knew we was going to get a reaction. We conceded 5 goals. I know that. But still, at the end of the day, people was expecting a bloody 5-0 against PSG, for fuck's sake. That's what my point is. And Sean, what are you saying there? I'm blaming the squad as a whole, not Frank. Our squad is just not good enough. Sad to say. No, I don't agree with that. Frank has got to take some of the blame for when we have shit games as well, because he is the boss and it is his job to get the players playing the right way and get them motivated for games. So he has to take some of the slack as well. Like last night, I think he left the defence, what am I saying? I think he left the transfers too late. So that's my opinion. I think he should have made those transfers round about substitutions. I've got transfers on the fucking back of my head. He made those substitutions too late. I think he should have been looking at that at 60 minutes because some of the players was already looking burnt out, and we were starting to get overdone basically. And when it came to that one, I think he should have made them earlier. But that's my opinion. The manager has to take some stick for it as well. That is what he's there for. I mean, did he tell him to park up the bus with Arsenal? I would hope not, but we just don't know, do we? I mean, James, what you're saying here, you're just too sensitive, full stop, Dan. Mate, there's only one place I'm sensitive, and that's in bed with my wife. And apart from that, you'll never know the rest of it, fella. But yeah, can be sensitive. Depends what spot you hit. And Destiny saying 5 years has been here, nearly still can't speak some English. Yeah, well. And Jason saying, smash the like, cheers, mate. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. I mean, bloody hell, trying to talk and keep up with chats at the same time. It's a job and a half trying to do it. And morning, mate. Morning to you too. And what we saying here, Destiny saying, who's worse than United or Liverpool? I mean, Liverpool this season. Do you know what? With the games we got coming up, I mean, what games have we got coming up? Let me just check up to find out the ones we have got coming up. I mean, I know we've got Fulham next. Spurs games. And can have a quick look at them. I mean, because I'm terrible at remembering names or games and whatever and that. Let's have a look at the fixtures. Who have we actually got? Because I know we've got Fulham next. And that's on Saturday at 8 o'clock. That's going to be on Sky. And anyone who pays for Sky, I think you're fucking crazy. But yeah, that is not going to be an easy game. 8 o'clock start. Like I said, what is going to be easy? But then comes up to December, and December is always a bastard for everybody. No two ways about that one. It always is a killer for a lot of clubs. Newcastle away, I am not looking forward to that. They just seem to bloody do it. They do seem to be a bit of a team we don't like to play. And their midfield, I do like their midfield, especially Tonali. I think he's a very, very underrated player. Very underrated player. And Newcastle is not going to be easy. Brentford is a game I think we should be winning, but then there's going to be that thing of Thomas Frank back there. They've got a point to prove, whatever.
Then after that, we got Nottingham Forest. It's a game we can win. It's away. It's a game we can definitely win, I think. I mean, I don't think they're no better than us. Then on Saturday, the 20th of December, we got Liverpool. Liverpool always seem to school us, don't they? But do you know what? This Liverpool, I mean, what the fuck has happened to them? I don't know. I mean, how long do you think that manager's got? Because I've got a couple of Liverpool mates, and they are calling for this fella's head in a big way. They are not liking it, and I am starting to think is Slot on borrowed time, and in that aspect, I mean, see, Angus, he agrees on that one totally, but in that aspect, I mean, he won in the league and that, but fucking hell, they've just come out and lost game after game after game. And that's where, for once, we might actually get there and get an interesting game out of it, because Liverpool are just not on it at the moment. I'd say the bad thing is we're at home, and I'd usually say that's meant to be the good bloody thing, but at the moment, it don't seem to be the good thing. I think at the moment, I'd rather be playing away at Liverpool, and I think that's probably the first time I've ever said that in my entire life. And so with that, it could be a very interesting game. If they keep playing the way they're playing, you can say anything's possible in that one at the minute, because they just don't look good. I mean, what is it? They got absolutely done last night by, what was it, PSV, wasn't it? And they are just looking a mess at the moment. I mean, even down to the point where Isaac? Yeah, they're straight. He's had to buy a fucking guard dog for 30 grand because he's scared of the abuse he's getting off the fans. Go and buy a guard dog. I mean, fucking hell, what's he going to do next? Put the money out and get SAS on his fucking door or something? I don't know. I mean, but then again, living up north can't be easy, and that. I mean, first thing he probably had to do when he got his place, I mean, it probably already had windows, which is something they don't really have up there, from what I've heard. I'm only going by what I've heard. So in that aspect, he's probably got it easy. He's probably got double glazed windows anyway, which probably helps. But God, he goes and buys a 30 grand guard dog. Interesting. But anyway, look, I'm going to leave it at that because I've got a couple of things to do now and sort out. And thanks for everyone watching. Much appreciated. I am going to be getting on here much more. I know I did say this before, but just sometimes it ain't as easy as it looks. And yeah, so watch a few others today, see what other people have to say about it. And thanks, people, for watching. And don't ask for much, but give us a quick like and subscribe. Be much appreciated. And I hope everybody has a good day. Do you know what? This afternoon, I think I'm just going to try and get a fucking hour. No, I'm not. Because if I go and get that hour or 2 hours sleep, I just won't be able to sleep tonight, and I'll just be a miserable bastard all night. And yeah, well, anyway, anyone, have a good day. Take care, people. See you later.
Take it down. Turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.